Here. Now this is a lot of this is going to be Nintendo Direct stuff,
Okay.
which is good because like you're playing a lot of Switchy,
Yes.
so this actually will work in your favor. Um, and then it's only a couple things. I have like the dock is full of stuff, but the problem is I just like I can't. The dude I get that does it for me, who's really great and does it for free, which is nice. The formatting's all screwed up, and it's just like I don't know. It'll be a lot of me talking and then just have fun, just goofing on stuff. But at first, all right, we're gonna start the show in 3, 2, 1. Welcome to Unlimited Lies, everybody. I'm your host TJ. How are you? With me is my special guest comedian, old friend, amazing gamer, smiling man, Luke Thayer.
Yes. I don't know. I think there should be a comma. Amazing, comma, gamer. I don't think I'm an amazing gamer, but I do enjoy it.
I do enjoy it. I mean, I am of all people, I am not someone to ever brag about gaming.
I'm not going to be one of those people that's able to have a Twitch channel and everybody watches me and I no, that's not I'm not that good. I
Mhm.
enjoy it and I mean, isn't that what it's supposed to be anyway?
I mean, it is. It's supposed to be a solitary thing. There's times I stream, like if I play a game I'm familiar with, like Fallout, I think I could stream and I'm fine. But I was like, even playing Fortnite, I'm playing it with Brian McGinnis and like Jeff Cerulli, who done the show and are friends of ours.
Yes.
And I get really, I'm just nervous of like cursing too much or just I don't know, man, saying the wrong thing or saying something personal and then just getting you can't take it back because the good thing about the anonymity of being a loser podcast host as myself, there's like 200 people or some crappy number that's like that can find it, but I have enough time to run in and probably like cancel it. But I always get nervous, like I'd love to just sit and stream, but I just know I'll say something stupid, not like racist or like homophobic, terrible. It's just I know I'll say something dumb or just have a rant, and then you know who
Yeah.
knows if that screws up. Like I auditioned for something for a voiceover, and then all of a sudden they're like, "I think that guy has a 2 million views on a TikTok that he's saying the F word 1,000 times and biting his finger till blood comes out."
I think the problem you're in is that you're not big enough
Yeah,
for to be canceled,
exactly.
but you could do something stupid enough that you would not get any work.
Yes,
So,
yes, yes, yeah. It's really true. Like especially because I used to get really nervous. My friend who, is an actor and stuff, and he would always warn me when I would like tweet stuff, and he's like, "Man, like don't trash Subway. Like you did a Subway radio spot, and you might get it again. And if they look and see you making Jared Fogle references, they might not book you." And I'm like,
yeah.
"Whoa."
You know,
So it
Jared
is
Fogle
true.
went to my college, by the way.
Oh my god, did he? Do you know my
Yeah.
friend? My friend, I won't say their name. Just I don't think they care, but still, they told me that they knew him, and the subway was like down the stairs from his house. Like he
It
wasn't.
was.
Yeah, he didn't walk miles and miles. It was
No.
pretty close. And then I don't know, how did he lose the weight then? Just regular diet?
I think by eating the Subway sandwiches because so I mean, we're going to turn this into the Subway Jared podcast here.
It's fine.
He,
Let's get him on the phone. Let's get
let's get him on the phone. Yeah. Actually, when you were saying like my friend is Jared Fogle is what I was expecting you to say, which is how you get canceled as well.
Oh, of course, of course.
So we shared files. It was no big deal. And so we, so I've never met the guy. He's a little bit older than me. So I don't know, maybe I was a freshman in college and he was a senior or something like that. And it was in the school newspaper before he was on Subway. Like they just picked up a thing. Hey, student loses 400 pounds eating Subway.
Yeah.
And so he ate a foot long veggie sub a day and a half, a 6-inch turkey sub per day. So it was like, that's it. That's all he ate. And it's like, well, no wonder you lost weight. You cut your calories down to whatever that would have been, 1200 or something like that.
Yeah. Did he
And
walk or anything?
I don't know if you're only getting like 1200 calories, you don't have to walk.
Oh my
Like
god, I'm gonna tell you something. I'm gonna start the Subway diet in 2 minutes. I'm a bloated
meatball
pig.
doesn't count, by the way. It can't be like,
No, it's fine. A high fat, high protein meatball diet.
yeah.
That's crazy. Yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah, and the subway that he was at was in the apartment or down the like at the base of his apartment complex, I think.
Yeah.
I
That's
ate at that
that's
subway
what you're telling me.
once when I was in college.
Oh,
He wasn't famous then. I was kind of like just in the newspaper, school newspaper, and I happened to read it. And then like the Associated Press picked up that story from
jeez.
the school newspaper, and then it became a big deal. And then Subway hired him from that. So if the school
Oh,
newspaper
crazy.
had never even done anything on this, he'd still be, well, he'd probably still be in jail for what he did. But like,
Yeah, of course. I mean, maybe he would have gotten caught way later.
yeah,
I think he was like file sharing with like another main guy at the. I don't
with
know.
with you,
And
that's
well, it's a Google Drive. It's fine. I didn't tell him to put that on there.
yeah.
He, I think he definitely would have got arrested, but it's so crazy how you go from nothing. Like I don't even know what he did. What he work at like Radio Shack or something? Like you go from nothing to he was probably making at least like a million, 2 million a year with a buyout or some crap,
Oh, easily. And
maybe
also, I
more.
like that we're keeping this nice and fresh and young for the
Yeah.
millennial and post millennial audience by using Subway Jared references and also a Radio Shack reference. Like Radio Shack.
Yeah.
First of all, Radio Shack. Just the name sounds like it's archaic,
It's made up.
right?
Yeah, a
Like
shack of like, what do you mean radio? Like, no one even knows. If you told someone radio waves are like cell waves, you're like,
yes,
no, radio waves still exist. And they're like, no.
no. Radio and Shack. Both of those words sound like they're from the 1800s.
They
Even though radio is like much later, it still feels super old. It seems like a medium that only George Burns would be on. I wanted to use an old reference as well. I wanted to
excellent.
be like,
Very, very good. Yeah, this isn't Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
I wanted to get a comedian that was born in 1890.
All right, you got to calm down, Luke. This isn't Romper Room. All right, all the listeners, all 10 are lost.
Yes.
I started. So I've known you for a while, and if you go on our Twitch channel or YouTube channel, you could see and also follow on TikTok, TJ Del Reno, not Unlimited Lives, but you'll see the videos of the segments me and Luke are going to talk about. But he threw me off because Luke's background, just like mine, was a real room, and it was
Mhm.
in when I was in Pennsylvania living there, and I actually set this up, took a picture of this. It looks terrible, but it's what I worked with, and it's my fake background. So Luke has like it's like a wall of like Sega games, Nintendo games. It's lit like perfect stream, like that, like low light Sonics in the background. And there's a Super Nintendo, Nintendo 3DO. The room looked nuts, and I know where you live. And part of me was like, did Luke move to like a house somewhere in like Nashville? And then
This is this is the room of a divorced dad,
yes, it
like
is.
in his mid 30s to mid 40s. That's just
It
like
looks
I'm using up
so
every inch of my place to like just
it looks
try to get my
so
youth back.
awesome. And I thought, Luke, when you hit me up, because like, we never really talked like video games. Like we would do spots together. I'm not a sports guy. We would do like sketches together with Jeff. But like I never knew you really gamed. Like you would hit me up a little bit about video game stuff, but then I think the Switch is where you kind of flourished. Am I right? That's kind of your first. I mean, did you have a foray into it as a kid with gaming?
Oh, for sure, for
Hmm.
sure. Which, by the way, you still haven't added me as a friend on the Switch.
Oh God, I still have to
Like,
do that, dude. I haven't touched it in a while. I
yeah.
do have to add you. It's no like on purpose. I've literally because I moved out of the city and I drive. Now it's like my Switch just rots unless my girlfriend is like, "Hey, let's play Mario Party." It like just sits. So I
Yeah.
will get to it. But I mean, like, which is funny. Today we're going to talk about a ton of Nintendo Direct, and it just was like, I mean,
I know. Well, there's two things I can't just let slide here. One is that is a virtual background for you.
Yeah. Yes.
There's
Yes.
literally any image that you could possibly get on the
Yes.
internet, and you chose this one
Yes.
with like it's not even like IKEA furniture. It is something that you got at Home Depot. Those shelving, that's meant for a garage. And
Yes.
you're supposed to store paper towels on that. And you're like, well, I'm going to put up the two transformers I have right here so everyone can see it. We're going to have the Fallout mask in the background, which looks like maybe a Coke fridge.
A
And
Nuka Cola. It's a mini fridge
oh
that was
yes,
wrapped in a vinyl sticker. I got as a gift from someone a while ago. Go
yeah,
on.
and look, none of these things on their own are bad.
No.
You just happen to put them all together in a package that's very unappealing.
Yeah. 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 This is very unappealing. I also have my Jason mask in the
But you don't
back.
see it.
You can't.
You're,
Now the mic's in the way, and then like there's a
every,
Freddy glove.
yeah, your chair takes up most of it.
My chair does. I mean, I have no room to like. I have no room to really like
You
move
could have
around.
this.
Yeah, I mean
This could be.
that's incredible. That's my dream. My dream is to have that me and my girl get a house and I could turn the office into like a streaming because most streamers have their background is like what is yours, even though it's
Mhm.
fake. But like where they have like it's real, or even someone's bed's in the back, but the room is lit low. There's interesting stuff in the back. If I do it now, it's like this is a green screen. So if I lower
Yeah.
that, it's my dog laying on our bed and then like just wallpaper. Like it's the most like boring thing. But at least with this, I mean, it is funny. It's let me see if I could show you a virtual background. Watch, I'll fade out completely. No, wait.
Look at that,
There we
guys.
go.
Look at
That's what it
that.
looks like.
Yeah, and
It's a
that's
bunch of
if it,
Fallout stuff.
if you could see that stuff, it would be somewhat interesting. It's
Yeah.
still the Home Depot shelves, but still, but when you're back, you take all of the interesting stuff and you just look like you have a couple boxes on the side of you
Yeah.
and just like four toys that you placed around your head
Yes.
to just be like, see guys, I'm one of you.
I'm
I'm
pretty.
one of
Hello, fellow kids. You know what I screwed up is like when I took so like I said, I physically put this setup, stepped back, took a bunch of pictures with my cell phone, but I didn't go far and I should have went far enough back that I could have had all this stuff a little more pushed back, interesting, but
Mhm.
I just didn't do it.
No,
Yeah,
and you probably won't now. And I mean, why do it? I mean, it'd only
I
grow your
can't.
listenership and get you more followers. But why do it? I mean, I
Well,
get it.
you know what? Why bother?
Why
Well,
bother?
I can't go back to this wherever this is. If this is still in Pennsylvania,
Yeah.
I can't. It's a
Well,
long
there's
story.
always the radical idea of getting a good professional shot behind you,
I
but
mean, it is
that's
true. That is,
they're only free on Google.
it's so funny if you
So
get a cease and desist from someone. I get a week later. It's like, how come you're using my bedroom background? It's like, oh, whoop.
yeah.
It'd be
Oh,
so
just use Jared Fogel's background.
funny. Yeah, prison walls. So you
There's and the other thing too is you're a Mario guy, not a Mario.
yes, Mario, yeah, because I grew up in the East Coast, it is Mario to me.
Yeah. Oh, there's a lot of people out there that are like Midwestern or Southern, or I'm Midwestern, and so everyone else I think in the country says Mario, but you get these East Coast guys, they're always like Mario.
Yeah, Mario. I think Jeff says Mario because he's from Long Island.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah, my friend Ian makes fun of me. He's from upstate New York, and he's like, "It's Mario," and
Yeah.
he tries to get me where he goes. What does he say at the beginning of Nintendo 64? Hey, it's a me, and I'm like, "Oh, it's a me, Mario," and he goes, "Yeah, Mario, not
Yeah.
Mario." And I'm like, "Shut up." It's like,
See, if you were a little smoother, you could have just altered it while you're saying it's a me, Mario.
Mario. I know I should have. No, I can't. Please, Luke. I have a fake bad background. What do you want?
Yeah.
I try to do as much. You being so this stuff is so I don't know, as you can tell, anything about anything, but to do any kind of streaming on like you either can do it terrible and maybe it works out, but like the amount of like stupid work and crap that it takes just to do this, it's exhausting. There's an XLR camera that I'm looking at that will turn off in
Mhm.
about, let's see, 14 minutes. Maybe 20 minutes, which I have to physically click it because if I don't, it will turn off. I mean, it's just like I have two streaming lights here, and then I'll pull up green screen. I mean, it's a whole thing.
It's a whole thing. Look,
It's
I put up my green screen for you.
it's great.
I made sure I had my lighting in the
Your
room.
lighting looks so good that I thought that was a real room. That's
The
how
only
well you have it lit.
the only thing is this pillow. You can see there's a little bit because there's a little shadow on the green screen, so there's like a little issue going on right there in the corner.
Oh,
So
it's fine.
technically, you're actually seeing part of the room because the green screen's not quite close
Is
enough.
that one that you pull up, or is it like you hang it on a thing? Like, is it
You
fabric?
hang it. Yeah, it's fabric. It's not like one of those pull down
That's the one. Yeah.
shades or whatever.
That's the one I have. Mine pulls up from the floor, so you and it like it's portable. It's pretty good. But I
There you
had to do
go.
it like I said because I have no. Hopefully, when me and my girl like move into a place that there's like I can have an office, I could set up. I could set up actual things in the background that are interesting, and not this. But the amount of crap to do, or anything to make this relatively slightly look professional is exhausting. Like,
It's hard. I mean, show business is hard.
sure,
So
I just, you know what I want, dude, and I've wanted this forever. I just want to work and just be a dumb monkey that talks into a microphone and says, "Subway, eat fresh."
yeah,
That's all I want. That's it. But you can't. I have to do 40 other things to hope something goes well.
it
And
well,
it's
it could have worked better if you didn't have that Subway rant on the other podcast. Also, maybe it's just time for a Jared Fogle reboot. You could be the next one.
you
Let's
imagine?
stay away from his vices, and
Yes.
but just a foot long veggie sub for you per day and a foot long turkey.
That's right. I should try it again. I wonder what, when that happened, man, Subway really has to, they did everything to try to just get their, that's a tough image to wipe away.
Oh,
And it's when those things with companies happen, man, I'm just so surprised they don't do like thorough background checks or something because they would just trust that no one was a friggin' pedophile.
I
It's
mean,
less than you think. You would think a drug addict,
it's yeah.
you
I
know?
think that's the hardest. Well, I don't know. I can't imagine. That just seems like the most unlikely scenario is
Yes,
that somebody's
a
into
pedo.
those
Yeah.
pervy things, and so yeah, I don't know.
It's
It's
it's the if you ever ask a company and you go name the three things, if this guy was going to be a problem, name three things. Pedophile would be number six. You would
that's pretty
always
high on the
tell me.
list,
You'd be
by the
like,
way.
well,
If somebody said that about you right now, like my sixth
no, they're
worry
not
about
true.
you is that you might be a pedophile. I'd be like, get him away from kids. It's that shouldn't be in the top 100.
You
And
just
you're like,
never. No, I'm saying like if someone was like name three of the worst things, it'd be like he beats his wife or girlfriend or husband. He's a raging drug addict. He's a prisoner, and then like someone's like pedophile. Nah, he's not a pedophile. Give me a break, man. Give me like it's always the last. Like you just wouldn't in 1,000 years. But
literally murdering children would be higher on the list.
you know what? Yeah, if he was a child killer like Freddy Krueger, I think they'd be like, Freddy gets a bad rap, but everyone's like, I mean, he kills the kids. He doesn't sleep with them, and they're like, that's
Well,
true. Worse.
he sort of does, though.
He sort of, yeah. Actually, you know what? Technically, you're right. You're
Yeah.
absolutely, you're absolutely right. So you've been playing a lot of Switch. So what kind of what are you playing now that you're really enjoying? You were also a family man, so do you find it tough to share the Switch? Um,
Not at all, because nobody else here plays the
ooh,
Switch at all. So, like, my daughter's only 4.5, so she's in kindergarten. So she plays a little bit of the games with me. So I've got a Series X as well, and so she'll play Peppa the Pig on there, and she will play Paw Patrol. But that's about it. She really likes the cell phone games better. So Royal Match and Candy Crush, those type of things where she can just, move the
mindlessly do it.
jewels. Yeah.
She
It's
has
just easy for her.
she has the gamer knowledge of a commuter in New York City who works at a law office. Who's like,
Basically.
that's what Candy Crush in Farmville. How do you like this? Before we go into Nintendo a little more, I want to sidetrack. I want to. How do you like the Series X? Did you have an Xbox One or 360?
I had an Xbox One X. Prior to
Okay.
that, I had a 360 as well. I still have. So I did sell my series. I mean, my One X.
How'd you
It
sell it?
was
eBay?
actually I traded that into GameStop because at the time it was just after I got my Series X. They were offering more, like basically what I paid for it
Wow.
in credit, and I was like, yeah, I'll do that. And then I traded in my original Switch around the same time,
Oh.
and I got an OLED.
Oh yeah, the new Switch. Look at you
Yeah.
getting all the upgrades. There's the X. I have an Xbox One here, and I want to get rid of it and get an Xbox Series X because I jumped straight to PS5,
Hmm.
which I
From
went
the
from.
PS1.
Yeah, PS1 was so cool, and then I couldn't believe the graphics of 5. It's like night and day.
Yeah.
So, I have like, I was a big Xbox guy forever, and I got the Xbox One.
Hmm.
I don't think of the Xbox One X, the Xbox One, and I really liked it, and I had a PS4, at the same time. But I was playing tons of Xbox, Game Pass. Every game
Hmm.
I got was Xbox. And then just when PS5 came out, and there was just like so many more exclusive games, and the Xbox One and Xbox Series X, is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it just seemed like it's a little more powerful, but there was like no everything was just upgraded versions of a game. So, are you ever
The
going to get a
the
PS5 or
Series X, is that correct?
yeah.
You're a video game podcaster.
You know, you know what?
And
Because the
how
name
do you
is so
pronounce that?
it's so bad because
Mario, is Mario on the Series X?
but it's so the reason is the name is horrendous. Like an Xbox One was already
Mhm.
bad because when you say Xbox One, you think the original Xbox because it was. Why would you call it Xbox One? But they
Yes.
wanted the Xbox One to be an all-in-one, meaning you plug your TV in and then you go to your Connect. You go Xbox, turn on Xbox, go to HBO, and then it would go to it, which no one did. Like there was,
No.
I knew maybe one person that was like, "Yeah, it goes through my TV." I'm like, "Well, do
Yeah.
you use it?" And it's like,
Which the
okay,
funny thing is, if they really push those features now, it people have the Alexa, people have gotten
oh,
used to
yeah,
that stuff. It seems less invasive.
yeah. I think,
Versus they were just too early on that, and they pushed it way too hard for people. Are like, yeah, quit
yeah,
creeping on me, you know?
yeah. What you covered the? I had a thing that would cover the Connect camera because I was like creeped out by it, just because I had it. So when you walk in
I
to
like
look at
you're like a thing. It was a washcloth. You
it
put
was,
a
it
washcloth
was, it was
over it.
a wet, dirty washcloth. I'm like, and I throw it on top. But it was the only cool part about that Connect and having it there was like walking in the room and you're like Xbox on, and then it would turn on was the only. And then if you're like Xbox, go to Mass Effect, and it would like go to it. Like that was about it. But the reason is like Xbox One, the name was bad, and then when they did Xbox Series X, it just sounds. Then there's the S. It's a tongue twister. So I always get confused because I've said it wrong so much of Xbox One, Xbox Series X that I think it's Xbox One Series X or Xbox X One X. It's a whole
It
thing.
is. It's the problem that with naming like that, where it's Series X, Series S, which X and S also
Yep.
sound similar, is that people are stupid.
Yeah.
And
Like.
so you really want to go to the lowest common denominator. PS5,
Yep.
PS4. We all know what those are, and
Yeah.
we know the order too. One, two, three, four, five. Right,
Yep.
and the
They
next
never
one's going to
changed.
be the PS6. Like you don't even have to worry about it.
Well, they had the Xbox was supposed to be called like Xbox Scarlet, and I'm like, oh, that's cool. And that was
Yeah,
their code name, and the code name was better than the real name.
yeah. I think
So
that maybe the One X was Scorpion.
yeah, to call it that. I'm fine
Yeah.
with calling it the code names are better than because you're right with PS5. I know what a PS5 is. And then the games also, when it has the Xbox Series X game, there's a tiny little logo on the top right side that's like Series X. And it's just like, it versus PS5 is like the game is white, it's a white box, it's PS5.
Yeah.
PS4, it's blue. Like what it is off the bat. And I don't know how many times people probably went to GameStop and got the wrong one, went home, and they're like, oh, this is Xbox One version. And then like, you know, or they're someone's poor grandma. Just grandmas always get gaming wrong. So it's like,
Yeah,
oh man. So she's playing. That's good. What are you playing on Switch? And you have the OLED, right? So that's
I
a
do.
1080. It's like a high def one.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. And although I've been playing it in dock mode in my bedroom, like I've got the Series X in the living room, I've got the that in the bedroom, and I'm playing the Cowabunga collection on there. The
Oh,
turtles, man. And I've been, but the thing is, on the Series X, I've been playing on Game Pass. They've got Shredder's Revenge, so I'm like a lot of turtle stuff right now.
nice. And you're really
So
liking it?
yeah, it's fun. You know what? It's got that pick up and play
Mhm.
type of feel to it. So if I just want to play for 10 or 15 minutes, I can do that. Whereas there are some other games that are just way more immersive of your time. So, using Fallout as an example for you, it's like if I'm going to be playing, New Vegas, I'm going to be dumping 40 hours into this thing.
Yep.
So it's not that I like that too. I don't know what the next game is that I'm going to be doing that on, but that's that's fun, but it's then that's the only thing I can do. I can't switch between Castlevania collection and the Turtles collection if I'm doing some super in-depth game that's going to require
Yeah.
every moment of my waking time.
Yeah, those yeah, I do the day comes that, I do have like kids and stuff like that. There's a lot of, like I know like you're a
All
friend of
the
mine.
listeners go, there won't be a day.
They're like, okay, why don't you stop getting ahead of yourself? And I'm like,
Yeah.
well, you never know. But it's like, I'm afraid of it too, because there's a lot of games I love that are like huge in-depth games that the thought of, I'm never going to be able to play them, where I could play for maybe like 20 minutes in between naps before the kid's like an active human. Because I would imagine when your child goes to sleep, you and your wife would want to like hang out. And that's kind of a dick move. If you're like, I want to play Horizon Forbidden West.
Yes.
Can you like, wouldn't it be cool if you watch me play Fallout? And it's like, you know, it's just such a
With
bummer.
my headphones on, by the way, so you can't hear any of it.
Yeah. I always have headphones on here, and my girlfriend will start talking to me, and it's always like I pause. I'm like, what?
I know.
What?
There's no way to not sound irritated when somebody talks to you when
Different.
you're wearing headphones. The only thing, because you have to do the pull off. Huh?
It's every time. Yeah. And if
Huh?
I'm in the middle
What?
of something, yeah, it's like, what? Huh? So,
Yeah. And
and
they usually get 2 or 3 sentences deep before
oh
you
yeah.
even have a chance to go. And it's like, are you asking me something?
Yeah, I've had those. So I have a regular Switch here. I did not get the OLED because, like I said, I'm barely touching the Switch here.
Yeah.
Do you have Nintendo Online?
I don't right now. I've had it in the past, but I kind of got bummed out by it because they were taking, all the games that they kind of promised, like we're going to have all you put out different Nintendo games and Super Nintendo games. They just were trickling out, and I'm like, oh, this is taking, and the games that would come out, it's like, ugh, I don't want to play that. Who cares about Icebreaker?
Oh,
I
dude.
mean,
Yeah, they had
come
some
on.
stinkers coming out for Nintendo. Super Nintendo, they did a little better. But then in order to play Nintendo 64, you have to pay the extra booster
Exactly.
charge or whatever.
Yeah,
And
and
it's nuts.
what we probably should do as friends is all do the family
Mhm.
thing,
Oh, yeah,
and
that's actually a great idea.
six of us, and then we all pay like whatever it is, $7, $8 per person,
Yeah,
and then we all
I
have
would do
access.
that. Like
Yeah,
a
well, there we go. We just got a plan now.
like a family plan.
Yeah, we'll do the family plan, although it doesn't include any of our families.
No, it doesn't. So today was a big, huge day, Luke. Today was Nintendo Direct 2022. This was Nintendo's fun little like, hey guys, guess what we got coming up? And
Magnum
it
opus
was
is what I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be the end all be all.
can I just say snooze fest,
I can't even watch them. Like
dude.
this is I've been around long enough that I see where these things are going. And anytime there's going to be this major game announcement, people get excited for this stuff. And I'm like, you're going to be disappointed because
Yep.
it's never because whatever we create in our minds is always way better than whatever they're planning on doing.
Oh, of course. So they had I forgot who hosted it, but he would do every time in between they would cut to him. And I think it's the chair, either the chairman of Nintendo or the CEO. There's two main guys.
Yeah.
And every time, the switch sound, the click, that snap, that's like
Uh-huh.
they do for. So he would introduce something, and then he would go, and he would snap, and it would make that switch like their trademark snap sound. It just got cringe after like 7 times. It was like cringy. I'm like, all right, man, enough.
No, this
Like,
is this is the problem with stuff like this. And in corporations in general. And us being comedians, I think we kind of know that what entertainment is a little bit better than these people.
mhm,
But every corporation, even if it's a fun one like Nintendo, they think they've got these brilliant ideas of what this would be so clever, this would be so funny and fun, and it's like they stink, and because they don't know how to talk to an audience in a way to actually entertain them. So like even doing like that, I'll snap and there's the
yeah,
click sound. You go, hey, great, you can do that maybe to start the show,
mhm,
and maybe you do it at the very end when you're signing off,
done.
but you can't do it with everyone because at some point it's becomes redundant, boring, and then irritating.
Yeah, yeah. And it was just, and he, kept doing it. And it's just like, I understand like we need to hear from the CEO and the guy who runs Nintendo and everything, but they also like I never understand why they don't hire even like there's so many comedians that you could just find someone to even write like a little bit of better, like a joke or two, or even like you're saying, like, okay, listen, don't do the snap like 6 times throughout this 40-minute event. Like, let's do it. And I don't know if it was six, but it was enough that after like two or like three, I was like, all right, okay, So
Yep, they run
they
into the ground.
announced so the announcements themselves were, I mean, if you're not a JRPG player, Japanese role-playing game player, you, I mean, I've never seen more JRPG announcements. I mean, the whole thing was that, and there was I have a decent list of the stuff coming out. Like there was stuff that was interesting that I was like, okay, all right, nothing, Luke, nothing. Even the final thing I'll tell you that they announced that was like their home run. Nothing was like, it was just, hey,
I know. Would see the real quick. By the way, if Nintendo, you're looking for a host, get a comedian. I'm
yeah,
available. But
yes,
but if you want a big name one, throw 100 grand at somebody like Jim Jeffries or something like that, and
yep.
have them do it for you because they will knock it out of the park, and the audience won't be bored, and they will be happy to do 100 grand. A total of, they're on stage for a total of 7 minutes. They don't care. They'll take it. I'll do it for you for less. 50 grand, I'll do it. But yes, the problem is with these things, they get built up. Then we've got all of these JRPGs, and it's like there is an audience for that. But there's a reason a lot of those had stayed in Japan in the past, is
Yeah.
because the American audience isn't necessarily into it the
Well,
same
I
way.
think what you should do is if you have a Nintendo Direct event, maybe have one that airs in Japan with the two main Nintendo guys hosting it. And then maybe like you're saying, maybe air one in America that is like a Jim Jeffries or another comedian or someone in front of it was a green screen. Like there was no show.
Yeah.
These events stopped being live events. E3 kind of pulled they used to this Nintendo Direct thing would have been a 40-minute stage segment at E3.
Right.
And then same with Sony. Sony had one I think today, which I still have to check out. But it's like they used to do these live, so it's like it's a green screen, so you could even get anyone, like you're saying, if you did get Jim Jeffries, it's like you hire
Mario
him
could
for
do
an
it, by
hour,
the way.
huh?
Mario could do it.
You get Mario to do it, and he could do it in a second. But you just hire the dude, have him go to a studio in front of a green screen, mic him up. Here's the jokes, announce it.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like, and you're right, all these announcements, it's like I understand Nintendo's a Japanese company. You do have an American Nintendo America, but it's like make a separate Nintendo Direct event that maybe is like 20 minutes with the stuff that most Nintendo fans care about. Now, I could be wrong. Most might give a crap about Fire Emblem Engage. Like that might be a huge thing. But to guys like me, and most normal, I think, regular Joe Schmo American gamers, like I don't need a seventh Fire Emblem or another trailer with some soft spoken anime girl going, I just need to go find my quest. And then some brooding and I will find you in the forest. I will find you. Like it's like I don't, it all blurred together after I watched this thing. After 20 minutes of 7 JRPGs, I was like, I don't know how many. I don't know what's what anymore. Like it's the same.
You're not the target audience.
Oh,
They're. I
I mean,
know everyone looking at you and based on your background would think that you were 12, but you're not. You're a grown man that doesn't like. So yeah, like that's why when talking about like the games like I like pick up and play. I like immersive stuff. I like role playing games, but I'm not like I don't like turn based combat at
yeah,
all. I've never liked that kind of stuff. I'm like, oh, now I gotta like wait for this guy to talk, and then I gotta press the button, and then I do my hit, and then it's there. I just so a direct like this. What I know what people want to see here in America, at least, you want to see Metroid Prime.
yeah,
That's what
yeah.
you want to see. That's
Or you
and
or and this to me is I'm going to tell you this is mind-boggling to me, and I've said this about Super Mario games forever. This is mind-boggling. You made uh Mario. Now you're making me say it. So Super Mario Brothers U, which is
Mhm.
a horrendous name, but it was for Wii U.
Yeah.
Excellent game, dude. And it's on Switch. You get it for Switch, and it's a side-scrolling Mario game in the vein of like Super Mario World. Very fun, dude. They're great games. Super Mario 3D World, excellent game.
Mhm.
So you have Super Mario Galaxy, excellent game. You have all these Mario titles, and they still just pump out Mario Kart, Mario Party. I would spend $60 if you released 5 worlds that added to Mario Odyssey. Or if you released another Super Mario's Brothers, like Super Mario Brothers U game or the side-scrolling Mario game, I would pay 100 for a game with 7 world. Like it doesn't take much, but the way that they just like it's like 7 people work at Nintendo and they're focusing on Zelda and they're like, we can't. Well, what about Mario? We don't have time for Mario. We're working on Zelda right now. Like it seems like for such a huge company, they have 7 guys that work on one title every 7 years.
It's probably they're probably have a pragmatic approach to this stuff. Is that like Mario Odyssey
Mhm.
came out what 2017?
Yeah, I could double check, but yeah,
So that's approximately 5 years ago. And you still have to pay pretty much 50, $60 for it, depending on where you are, 5 years later. Whereas Marvel Avengers came out, and then 3 weeks later you could get it for $20.
yeah, that is.
And
I mean, you're right.
so there's an element of like they go, yes, we could make a Mario Odyssey 2, but we're still selling this one. So they might just go, this is the Mario for this generation.
Yeah, I just think with like DLC, like there's no DLC. I was surprised that Mario Kart for Switch that they started doing. There's a Mario Kart Pass or something, and you get like other tracks. I mean, I was blown away that they were actually doing that. I was like, oh my god, they're doing DLC. So then this game isn't stuck in just Mario Kart. But the fact that there is no like the only Mario announcement we'll get to is like the Rabbids one. But I think it's crazy. It can't be that hard to make a side-scrolling Mario game that's like Mario Brothers U. and just release it for 25 bucks. Every year we should have like a Mario game like NBA 2K does. Every year we should have something simple. I don't care if it's the same 6 worlds. Just make them different, more challenging. You know?
You know something I want on the Switch is I want the Mario All Stars collection that Super Nintendo had.
They have it.
I don't want to go online. I
Oh,
want
oh, oh, oh.
a physical release of something. That's part of me is old school with this stuff. So even when you like say DLC, I start going, I want I want to be able to collect the thing too. I
You
want to
want to
put it
build
on
a
my shelf.
room.
As you can see, I want to put it on the shelf.
You want to build a room.
Yes, I don't
Yeah,
want to, like, it to be something where it's like, well, I sold my Switch and it's all on there.
that is true. Yeah, they definitely don't have that. Did you play any of the Kirby games?
Over the years I have, Kirby's not my favorite game. It's always I felt like a little simplistic
Yeah.
for a grown person. Like I think I can't wait to get my daughter to play that.
Yeah,
But
she'll like it.
he's always like my go-to in Smash Brothers any Smash Brothers. Kirby's always like my go-to guy.
Yeah.
Maybe because I'm not very good at it, and I'm like it gives me like a little bit of an evening the playing field because I can suck them up at any point.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm just bad. I'm bad at Smash. I'm so bad at it. I can't.
So
I kill myself I fall off the edge every time.
so
Myself.
you've got a couple things that you need to do after this podcast.
Yeah.
One, actually give me that friend request on
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
We're gonna get the family plan. We got to determine who all is going to be on this family plan, and then we'll all play Smash Brothers together, and we'll all just be bad.
Yeah. That'd be great. Yeah, I have a friend who's two of my friends that play Smash are really good, and I can't play against them because they just destroy
It's not
me.
fun.
It's not.
We used to play college. All my roommates would play, and that's the most fun is when everybody's kind of just having fun together, and it's not a competitive environment. Like I started playing that Warner Brothers
Oh yeah,
versus
multiverses.
multiverses, and it's fun for the first day that I tried to play it, but then now everybody that wants to play it got so advanced at it. It's like I now you're too good, and I'm just pick this thing up once every 2 weeks. I can't compete with the people that are super into it.
Yeah, I find this just to go on a side note with fighting games because I've thought of this before too because I think that's a huge stigma with fighting games is they come out and if you own them, like I own Mortal Kombat 11, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I play it as much as I want. Play against the computer. I don't go online because when you go online, the odds of it's a 1 in 30 chance that you'll win unless you're extremely good.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't want to waste time getting extremely good. I don't want to waste time getting extremely good because who cares? Like it's, I'm not a high score guy. I'm not, I don't care. So the problem with fighting games are then your friend comes over who doesn't have the game and you're like, hey man, you want to play MK11? And he's like, yeah, sure. And then you're destroying him because you know all the moves. You have your 3 go-to main guys. And then they're like, I don't know how to play this, man. So then you try to find a friend of yours that knows how to play MK, and they're either way too good or it's the same problem where so the skill level is never even. It seems like it's always like either your friends are really good or they never play it. And I
Yeah.
feel like fighting games, that is a stigma nonstop unless you go back to like Street Fighter 2, where Jeff's, our friend Jeff loves Street Fighter. And we play Street Fighter 2 together, and he's really good. And but again, like I know Street Fighter is such ingrained in my bones that I'm not going to be thrown off. Like even if he beats me, I'm like, well, I know, like if he's using guile, I know he's charging, so let me be aggressive and chase him. But I feel like fighting games, man, it's always like you don't enjoy them. You play against a computer and you can't play online. People are too good, and there's never a middle ground of like what
No,
you do.
fighting games specifically to me are meant to be played in two ways. One, the arcade, where you pump in a quarter, you kind of know this is going to be a brief period of time. You know that even if I win, it's I'm not going to be here super long. And There's also possibly one kid that is the good kid, and we're all kind of competing against him. So everybody at the arcade would compete against that kid,
Yeah.
and that was fun, because you took your turn. It's kind of like a grown up would be going to the bar and putting down their quarters on the pool table, and it's like I got next. That's what it would be. And so we just lost the camera for a second. That's all. It's
It makes me crazy. Makes me crazy, bro.
yeah.
Every time I talk to Jeff, who knows how these cameras work, and I go, "How do I stop it from shutting off?" And he goes, "Oh, you go in the menu and you turn off. There's an auto shut off, and you make sure you disable it." I go, "Cool." And then I disabled it, and it still turns off.
So,
It makes me livid. Go on. So I feel like people like adults will go to the bar, put a quarter.
yeah, they play pool. You put that down your quarter, and the fun of it is competing and just taking your turn, competing against whoever the good player is. The second way I think it's is really more of a couch playing. Like when we were kids, you two people sit down and it was a game that we could both play because kids don't have this as much anymore. But like when we were younger, if you sat down to play Super Mario World, one kid watches and one kid plays. You weren't playing at the same time. But if you had Street Fighter 2, you had Mortal Kombat, we each got to play. And so it was really the fighting games that allowed the most two player action. So that's, I think, inherently that's what they were built on, was to be played one of those two ways. And so everything else is kind of changing it just slightly, where it's not really what the intended purpose was for it. So playing everybody online, it's like, well, then some people are savants and some people spend all their time on it. Some people really care. Like a good example is this, like the beat 'em up type of genre where I'm playing the Cowabunga collection. People are talking like there's tips, you can learn their fight patterns of all the enemies and where they go and where their hitboxes are. And I go, I don't want to do that. I just want to jump around. I want to hit them. I want to beat up all the bad guys. I do not want to learn the patterns of this, but people do. And so that would make it, if it was a fighting game, which people do learn all of the patterns of each player, what they can do, it makes it unplayable for the person that doesn't want to do that.
Yeah, yeah, and that's it is that thing where it was very fun sitting next to people, and Street Fighter 2 was new, and you all didn't know the moves. You kind of learn them together, and you're right. It gets to a point. Some people like they play MK11, 4 hours a day, every day, and they just keep playing and playing and playing, and they know all the different moves and combos and juggles and everything. So I don't know.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do?
I'm a button smasher, so I'm not competing with them.
Nice. So we have Kirby's Return to Dreamland Deluxe brings a Wii Classic to Switch. A lot of these announcements were also, it seemed like old Wii games just put on the Switch now. Octopath Traveler 2, again, which is JRPG. Bayonetta 3 got a trailer, which I'm very excited. I love Bayonetta. Did you ever play Bayonetta 1 or 2?
I've never played Bayonetta, although I feel like I've got a lot of video games at my place. Not quite like this, but I might have a Wii U Bayonetta. But I'm
it's
not
very
sure without looking through my stack of stuff right now.
stack. It's very fun. Final Fantasy Theater Rhythm, again, JRPG. We'll get to that one. Crisis Core Final Fantasy 7, again, JRPG. Even though Crisis Core Final Fantasy, just to give you a little insight, I played this game was on the PlayStation Portable. And when I was playing Crisis Core, the PSP, I was playing on the subway. And this is a spoiler for the end of the game. But basically, Crisis Core is about this soldier named Zack who kind of takes Cloud from Final Fantasy VII under his wing. And the story was a pretty simple story. It wasn't too convoluted. And the problem with JRPGs, Luke, if you don't play enough of them, are the stories, especially Final Fantasy, they're always, as I find, overly complicated, convoluted, and stupid. versus like you just need, there's always a kingdom, there's always a weird planet, there's always eidolons, there's always these gods and monsters, there's always a crystal woman. Like it's ridiculous.
You are going to get any trolls coming for you on that statement.
Yeah, I come at me. I don't come at me. I don't care because it's just like so. Crisis Core is about Zach, and the thing about this game, it's one of the few games. I think it's one of 3 games that made me tear up at the end of the game. Tear up. Never was moved by a video game before, except for Crisis Core. I think Red Dead Redemption 1, and I forgot the third one.
Icebreakers.
Icebreakers. Yep, I cried at the end of Icebreakers. I was like, what a wonderful puzzle game for Nintendo. But at the end of Crisis Core, it's basically like you fight, you're surrounded by these soldiers that are trying to kill you, and they're surrounding you in a circle, and you fight until you're dead. Like you can't win, but you fight and you keep losing life, and you're gonna lose. Like you're not gonna win. And while you're fighting, I started tearing up because the story, the voice acting in this character, to me was done so well that I gave such a shit about him. Like I loved him, and I was like, this character's great. And then to watch him, you play him as he dies. And it killed me. I was like, oh my God. I was on the subway playing PSP, tearing up on the subway, playing it, being like, oh my God. Someone's looking over.
Yeah, I don't think we have to worry about you having kids. That's
no, we don't. My girlfriend doesn't think it's attractive when a chubby white man is crying on the subway playing a JRPG. Wave 3 of Mario Kart Deluxe booster courses. Remember I told you there's like the packs. A lot of these courses are from Mario Kart like 2 and 3. So again, Nintendo Switch Sports gets a free golf mode this holiday. You know how children love golf. Bet your daughter talks about golf all the time, right? Isn't that her
big
thing?
fan.
Oh,
big
huge.
Fan.
Isn't
Lee
she?
Trevino is. You wouldn't think she would even know who he is, but that's her favorite.
She's like, Dad, look at the birdie this guy shot. Wow, what a pitch that he did. Mario Strikers Battle League gets a second free update. Then we got Xenoblade Chronicles, again JRPG. Splatoon 3, did you guys play Splatoon? Well, she'll get old enough to play Splatoon. I think that'll be her Jimmy Jam.
Yeah, I've got Splatoon on the Wii U, and I've got Splatoon 2. Which the funny thing is, I've played more Splatoon on the Wii U online with friends than I ever did Splatoon 2.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but probably Splatoon 3 will be in the mix at some point.
It'll be fun. Just one. I mean, Splatoon's like pretty fun, but it's. I mean, I feel like it's. I played it. One of my exes had a son, and we would play Splatoon. Like I would be home, we'd play over like online together, and like it was pretty fun. Then we have Resident Evil Village Cloud, which will let Switch owners meet Lady Dimitrescu and experience the latest Resident Evil. This cloud version will be released on October 28th, but those interested can try out the demo. And then later, Switch owners will gain access to cloud versions. This is very weird for Nintendo having cloud version stuff. Of Resident Evil 7, Biohazard, Resident Evil 2, and Resident Evil 3. Very weird. Nintendo for a while, dude, didn't believe in online play. It was like the president was quoted like years ago being like, no one plays online. And it's when like Halo 3 was like destroying. And he's like, no one plays on the internet. And we're like, oh my God.
You know where it's at? Radio.
He's like, you guys ever been to Radio Shack? You can play next to each other? It's crazy. But then it's like Nintendo Switch didn't even have like, they had the Switch has more couch co-op games than Xbox and PlayStation, like hands down. But you can't say there's no online. Harvest Moon, again, Fae Farm is a JRPG. Harvestella, Fatal Frame, again, another slightly JRPG. Tunic Adventures, It Takes Two, which is a game that came out on Xbox and PlayStation. Terrible voice acting, but fun game. Terrible, Luke. Terrible. Oh my God. It's about a husband and a wife that are going through a divorce. They're American. I think the wife might have an English accent. Their daughter is an English accent. I thought it was very weird because it seemed like the parents didn't have accents and the daughter was English. Where it's like, did you steal this child? And it's like you shrink down that your daughter wishes you to into like doll form, and basically it's like Honey I Shrunk the Kids, where you're these small dolls and like everything is huge, and you have to like try to turn yourself back to humans. And I guess along the way, instead of getting divorced, I would imagine they reconcile, or they're like, hey, remember when we had to ride a thimble down a stream? I want to marry you again. But dude, the voice acting was like, oh, it was just the most non-union. Like they probably bought him on Fiverr. Like, we just need like a guy and a girl, and they're like, I don't know. Here you go. It was, dude.
It's the same person that did the direct. They're like, we
Yeah,
can't.
yeah.
I could do it. I did the direct. And how about this move? Huh?
Yeah, bro. Oh my god. Just watch a video of the cutscenes. It's the worst. I should have pulled it up. Sifu, the Kung Fu action brawler. Front mission first. It's a remake. And this is the thing about JRPGs, Luke. Now it's gonna sound like I'm speaking a different, like Latin. Atelier Riza, Tales of Symphonia, Dang, Detective Archives Rain Coode, Coode. That's a word. Oh, I guess Rain Code. They screwed up. SpongeBob SquarePants. It also has a Cosmic Shake, which is he goes to Bikini Bottom, but he goes through different dimensions. And I forgot. I think The Simpsons did it. I think where it's like you go through like different dimensions of worlds, and then he has to react to it. Rune Factory 3. Various Daylife is another JRPG. Radiant Silver Gun. This just sounds like I'm saying words. Factoria Task. I mean, Ib is like a creepy adventure. It's an art gallery.
Oh, Ib. I actually thought that was LB for pounds.
Yeah, right? No. And then there's Fitness Boxing Fist of the North Star.
I saw like the trailer, a little clip of that.
I think it's very weird that it's Fist of the North Star, which is like an anime show, and like pretty renowned. Like people love it. And it's just weird that there's like a fitness boxing game with Fist of the North Star. It's like a Dragon Ball Z cooking game. I don't get it. It's weird. It's like if Mario had a racing game called Mario Kart. I don't know. Just seems weird that you're boxing with your favorite Fist of the North Star characters.
I don't know. I guess it could be fun. For me, it would be fun if it was like Fitness Boxing Roxy Edition, and you got to fight like Ivan Drago. You got to fight Clever Lang. That would be fun to me.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah,
Fist of the North Star is a fighting anime, but it's very weird. So they also had It Takes Two. I told you. Then there was this huge news, and as an old gamer, as ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
I told you Nintendo 64 has, you were talking about the Nintendo Online with Nintendo and Super Nintendo. They also have the 64, which there's not enough games on the 64 Online for me that makes sense to like do it. The family plan thing makes sense.
Yeah.
There's not enough for me to do it on my own. There was like 4 games. I'm like, I don't care. Like, I don't need to play Perfect Dark 64. I didn't play it when it was out.
There's too many options with that anyway. I've got the Rare collection on Xbox. I can just play it on there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So this is what they have that's coming to the Nintendo eShop. Pilot Wings 64.
Okay. Launch title for the 64.
Oh, was it? Pilot Wings is the bane of my Super Nintendo existence is Pilot Wings. I hate it. I talked about it before. My cousin always had the most Super Nintendo games. And when me and my brother would go to his house, I was stuck playing Street Fighter 2, Super Mario World, or Pilot Wings were the only 3 games he had for like maybe like a couple months. And it was brutal because after you'd play Street Fighter 2 for a bit, then after you beat it once or twice, you're like, okay. And then you play Super Mario World and you're like, well, I already beat this 4 times and I own it. And then I was like, I guess that's how bad you kids don't understand what we went through as children. That I was forced to play a flight simulator game because there was nothing else to play because I already played the only other 2 games.
Yes. Like, well, 64, the Pilot Wing 64, that game was one of the launch titles. And there was so few games right there, that first year. I didn't have it, but a friend of mine did. So, like, we got Nintendo 64s the same year, same Christmas. And he got Pilot Wings and Mario. And I got Star Wars and I don't remember the other title. I don't think Mario Kart was out yet, but maybe it was. Maybe it was one of the launch titles. And we switched them. And then playing Pilot Wings, I was like, oh, this is not good, but this is also one of 4 titles that we actually have to play. So you played it because it was available.
Yeah, that's what happened with Pilot Wings. It was there. So I did not know they made Pilot Wings 64, so it makes me physically ill. And then,
it's better than Pilot Wings Super Nintendo in my opinion, but a lot of things like I don't like Mario Kart on the Super Nintendo. There's something that's always been off about it, but I loved it on the 64 and going forward. It needed to be put in those real 3 dimensions, not just the backgrounds shifting around you to create a sort of 3D thing.
yeah. Yeah, you're not racing with sprites. Mario Party 1, 2, and 3, Pokemon Stadium 1 and 2, 1080 snowboarding.
That was fun for its time.
Which I used to play. They had a 64 set up at Sears in Toms River, New Jersey. In the
It was next to the Radio Shack, by the way. The Sears.
Yeah, it actually was. Sears was by the Radio Shack. And me and my friends, I was a mall rat, and we used to walk the mall all day and hang out in the mall all day. And the Nintendo 64 was in the children's section.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
So you had Nintendo because PlayStation wasn't out. And I don't think, or PlayStation was out.
The first one was, but
yeah, the first one was, yeah.
It was marketed more towards the older gamer.
Yes. And this one would, 64 was for kids. And they had a 1080, they had a 64 and the screen where you would walk into the store and you could try the game out, whatever game they have. GameStop has like the TV setups that you could like try, Mario World, whatever. But it was so cool because as walking around the mall as a mall rat, we had nothing to do. We'd go in Sears, we'd play. It was a full game. It wasn't like a demo. I think it was a full game at 1080. And you'd play as long as you can until the woman who worked in the kids department was like, okay, that's enough. Okay. You guys have to leave because we're like teenagers. There's always like a 6-year-old waiting to play. Mom, look. And I'm always like, shut up, kid. Shut up. Don't tell your mom. I'm going to do a 1080 flip. Shut up, kid. But we used to get kicked out of Sears. Yeah. Always like manager security would come. All right, it's enough. Let's go. That's enough.
Yeah.
Like, oh.
You weren't that much older, but you did sound like an old smoker.
I did actually. Yeah, I do. I've had this voice for a long time. This destroyed voice. Finally, Excite Bike 64, which I didn't even know there was a 64 version of Excite Bike. And then
I didn't know anybody that had it. I knew it existed, but I didn't know anybody that had it back then.
I didn't even know. I loved Excite Bike for NES. I had it for Nintendo. I didn't even know they made a 64 version. So I'm excited. I could try that. And then finally, the game that everyone has been waiting for that I think really will bring a lot of nostalgia back to everybody, GoldenEye.
That's the one people have been wanting. But what's interesting about this is it's also going to be, I believe, available on Game Pass.
Oh,
on
GoldenEye?
Xbox. Yeah, that's what I heard.
Really?
So it's not just Nintendo exclusive because Xbox owns Rare. So
Oh.
it looks like they worked out an agreement where it's available on both platforms. Now I don't know if there'll be crossplay. That's what I would hope, but
Oh, there's no dude, I'll put $50 cold hard cash that there is not.
yeah.
There's no way. No.
I know where that
Because
$50 is too, by the way. It's in that lunchbox behind you.
yeah, right here.
Right
Yeah,
there.
that's it. That's it.
It's
Um,
all bunched up. I know how you put
yeah,
like all your money in there.
yeah. All the you crumple up money and you put it in your pocket. That's so that way when you walk in a candy store, you're like, I need a Jolly Rancher. I have this many, Mister. You
Yeah.
unload. It's a crumpled up dollar, a receipt, and a thumbtack. Um, there's no way, dude. I mean, if Xbox, PlayStation, and PC can barely have crossplay with other games, nah, it'll be stuck. The weird thing to me is GoldenEye is very nostalgic, but it was, like that would be a game like I'd rather play that if it was like me, you, Jeff, and Brian in a room and we're playing on a TV and it's a four of us, in the same room would make more sense. I would play it
Mhm.
online, but it's that thing of, I wonder how far nostalgia is going to go with GoldenEye. You do a couple matches until you're like, you guys want to play Unreal Tournament or something like,
Yeah. You know
you know,
what the problem is with it being on Nintendo versus Xbox is there's no easy chat with it. So even if we are playing online, or you gotta like go into the app and do the chat that way, and it's like if we could all put on headsets and just talk to each other and see our screens and be connected that way, you get a little taste of going back in time and sitting on a couch together or sitting on the floor in front of the TV.
I mean, you're right, dude. I don't understand. Like when I saw that the only way to do Nintendo chat was like download an app on your phone, I'm like, why wouldn't I'll just call my friend? Why would I use your app on my phone? I'll just call him on the phone. Well. What if you want to play with three of your friends? I don't know. A group call? Like, what do you mean? You ever heard of Discord, Telegram, like Zoom? It's like it was so crazy that you're right. They don't have an infrastructure to just put headphones on and be like, I'm gonna play online. You can't. And the friend code, by the way, number is out of control, where it's 60 digits.
Yeah.
Um, so the two last things I'm going to bring up, then we're going to wrap up, just because this has been a very fun show, but it's one of the long ones. Just
It's
because
because I keep taking you on different side avenues. I'm like, let's go down this alley that we just talk about your Transformers.
yeah, that's speaking of, no, I was kidding. Yeah, I don't mind. That's great. So the last two things, Pikmin Bloom is going to be, it's in the works, and it's a GPS based smartphone game where you send out your Pikmin to collect items, you feed them to increase their petals, and you take cute AR photos with them. That's
Yeah, no interest for. I just no.
now, do you know what it is, man? It's from the same, it's like Pokemon Go.
Which I played that for a total of like 6 minutes.
Oh my god, yeah. I think it's Jason Signs, who does a show with me sometimes, said the same. He's like, I played it for a minute. And I remember playing Pokemon Go for maybe a week, but it was like just because living in New York, we walk everywhere. So I would find myself like, if I was like walking to an audition or a spot or a show or wherever, I was like, all right, I'll go, I'll see if there's Pokemon around here. But I didn't stick with it that much because the battle aspect of it was so dumb. And I was like,
Yeah,
I don't care about this. Pikmin, I have no interest in Pikmin. They're trying to really get kids out of the house. They're like, you can track your steps to see where you walked. So, if you want to go to a different area to see what Pikmin are there and you feed them. I mean, it's like a phone Tamagotchi,
yeah.
sort of. And then finally, what we've all been waiting for, The Legend of Zelda, Tears of the Kingdom, coming May 12th, 2023.
Mm-hmm.
2023. There it is. The
Looks
Legend of
good.
Zelda, Tears of the Kingdom. There was a little bit of gameplay, not much. I don't know if this is an expansion or if this is a whole new game.
I think it's a whole new game, but also you don't need a direct for this. This is a tweet. You could literally just say, "Here's the title of the new Zelda game."
Yep. Yep, you're 1,000% right. I mean, it's just this Nintendo Direct. I'm gonna. It, there was some surprising stuff, but the problem with these direct things, like you were saying, and like you said, it's a tweet. I could go on IGN and just go, "What was announced? Pikmin
Yeah.
4, cool. Sequel to Breath of the Wild, Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom." There's a little bit of gameplay we saw, and it'll be on Switch. Did you play Breath of the Wild?
I did. I played it all the way through. It was very fun.
Very fun game. I didn't beat it.
Yeah.
I have a very bad habit of playing games and then getting halfway through and stop. I have a very bad habit of finishing. I can't follow through. I get so obsessed with side quests and like leveling up my character or getting weapons or doing whatever that I take up 45 hours doing that. And then, like right now, I'm playing Horizon Forbidden West. And when we're done recording, I'm going to sit down. I have 20 minutes left of the game to beat it. And I have to force myself to go. And it's not a bad game. Excellent game. Excellent. But I have to sit down and go, you're going to beat this game. You're going to beat it right now. Let's just beat it. Let's just get this done. So Breath of the Wild, I want to see if I could find it cheap somewhere because I never beat it. And I think
Yes. I think of it as Christmas. Look this Christmas. I think
I'm
there's
gonna
going
look
to be
this
some
Christmas.
deals.
I got all the way to Ganon. I was all the way to Ganon, dude. I got like everything. Master Sword, the whole nine.
Yeah.
All I had to do was go fight Ganon. Go in his tower, fight him. And other things came out and I was like, oh, I'm gonna go do this. And then just you lose it,
That's the problem with any of those type of games, like whether it's Cyberpunk or anything like that. It just you can become so consumed with the side quests. I think you get burned out with the game, and it's just like I can't do anymore. I've spent so much time with this, so I've learned that while I'm learning the game is the time to do some side quests, to have some fun, just explore the world, but then to get back on track with the main story and get as deep into that as quickly as possible. So then if I decide to take a side quest here and there, it's it's I'm far enough along that I'm like, okay, I should be able to beat this in a day or two. You don't
Yeah.
want to get too deep in where it's like, oh, I spent 6 weeks on this game and I am like, it says I'm 12% done.
Do you know, Luke, speaking of Cyberpunk, do you think I beat it or do you think I didn't beat it?
I would assume that you did not beat it.
You assumed correct.
Yes.
I did the same thing, dude. I'm at the final boss of the game on Google Stadia. And
I
it's
beat it.
great
I beat it on my Series X.
I should have just, dude. I gotta just beat it. I just have to beat it. But I don't know. This was so fun, Luke. Thank you. I definitely want you to come back. This was so fun.
Anytime. Yeah, I don't mind talking about
Dude,
video games and making fun of you and all of that
I
stuff.
love it.
It's part of the charm.
It is part of the charm. Now, Luke, if I was going to do a Luke Thayer direct event and I needed to plug something, what would it be?
Okay, well, I know if let's just say you had a direct event and you needed to contact me to host it and pay me 50 grand because I don't charge as much as Jim Jeffries. Just a reminder. At Comedian Luke on every social media platform, as well as my website. So find me at Comedian Luke.
Ooh, very good. You can follow the podcast at Unlimited SXM on Twitter. You could follow us on Instagram and Unlimited Lives. You could see this on our Twitch channel, Unlimited Lives Radio, and our YouTube channel. Also, follow me on TikTok at TJ Del Reno. You will see all parts of the podcast cut up, and I do other nerdy video game news stuff. So it's not just rehashing the podcast. And it's going well. I'm having a lot of fun on TikTok. So follow me there, and you can follow me at TJ Del Reno on other social media. But I really am sticking to focusing on TikTok and not anywhere else. So I think just follow me there.
Follow him there.
It's going pretty, it took me a while to dive into TikTok, but I've had relative successes on it. But, it's funny when you tell someone if a video gets like 30,000 views, you're like, oh, this video is like 30,000 views. You see people light up who don't know our business. Like my mom will go like, and she thinks, because she watches YouTube a lot, she's like, are you making money off that video? And it's like, well, No.
Yeah.
No. And then it's like, well, can you make money on that video? No.
No. Well, look, go in another room and grab your mom real quick, and I'll
Yeah.
talk to her for you.
Hold on, let me go
So,
get her real quick.
hey, Ma. Hey, Ma.
Wow, my friend Luke wants to say something to you about you can't make money on YouTube. Ah, hot dogs are fine for dinner. I'm having hot dogs tonight. Hot dogs.
Oh.
That is where I'm at. That's where I'm headed. If my girl ever dumps me, man, oof, I am heading right back to living at my parents' house.
Yeah.
In their little guest room. You know, I'm setting just in case I screw up. I'm setting the stand. I made sure they had good internet and stuff. I'm like, you guys, we got to get you guys to good internet, just in case someone has to move back here. But everything's, so far everything's great. Awesome, dude. This is great. So thank you, Luke. We'll see you guys next time. See ya. Fun show, man.
Yeah. Thanks for having me on. We finally got it worked out.
We finally worked it out. What are you going to play in the background there?
Let's see here. I'm actually going to just read Play Magazine.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Play Magazine was really good. That's a good one. I'm glad you have it on display.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. And also, yeah, that's a nice comfy pillow.
Yeah. Well, if you got a game room like this, you want it to be nice and comfy. So
You do. Think
yeah,
of the chicks you could get.
probably some pretty cool ones.
Yeah.
Hot, smoking hot.
Smoking hot ones. Oh, that's awesome. All right, let me end the broadcast. Thanks, everyone.